She'll be back.
Good morning, listeners, viewers. Thank you for being here with us yet again. My apologies for being a bit late this morning. Duty calls at the office before we actually come in. This morning, I have two guests with me. I would allow them to introduce themselves to you, and as and one is going to be back. Yes. Okay, and this month, as we said last week, that we celebrating it's in observance of Social Work Month. So throughout this month, we will be having programs geared at social work. So we speak about everything social work this month. Okay. Today, one of my guests we will be discussing the theme for social work, the Social Work Month, and I would love her to explain it to you. So she will be doing that after our introduction. So I join to my right a beautiful young lady who is going to introduce herself to you this morning. Go ahead, Miss. Welcome and thank you again for um, accepting my invitation. Go ahead.
Welcome. Hi, good morning. I'm Elika Hunte, an intern at Division of Human Services in the Soufriere branch.
Thank you and welcome again, Elika. So I will go over to my next beautiful young lady who accepted my offer very late. Thank you again for coming through. So go ahead, Miss.
Hi, my name is Miss Ebony Joanna Joseph, and I am employed with the Division of Human Services as the intake officer in due forth. And I am very happy to be on this show this morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so very much, Miss Joseph, for joining me, and I am truly appreciative of you being here. Okay. So as I said earlier, we are going to talk about the theme for social work, and I'm going to invite Ms. Joseph to give us a briefing on the theme for social work this month. Go ahead, Ms. Joseph.
Okay, yes, thank you very much. As you were informed by Miss Bondiemaitre, we are celebrating Social Work Month. The month of March is designated for Social Work Month, and we will be operating under the theme Social Work, Compassion plus Action. Actually, social work is a helping profession where we seek to improve the well-being of our people and our communities. And part of it is having that compassion, being sympathetic and conscious to others' distress, and to have a desire to alleviate it. And the action would be the plan of actions, the interventions that we would formulate to assist our individuals and our groups and our communities. That would be in terms of families and individuals where we would work with the families and the individuals to help alleviate whatever issues they are going through at the moment. That would be not to do it for them, however, but to work with them to obtain that level of independence where they can be able to function fully, and they would need our assistance to do so.
Great. Thank you so very much, Ms. Joseph. Okay. Um, I want you to tell us, do you think that this theme, passion, compassion, and action, is a fitting theme for Social Work Month?
Most definitely, most definitely. In order to be a social worker, you must have that level of compassion in order to be able to assist other persons. You have to be in a place where you are empathetic to their situation, and you actually feel what they feel. And again, they would need our assistance as social workers to help them go through the process, to help them go through the life challenges, to overcome barriers, whatever it is that the situation is at the moment. They
Mhm.
would definitely, and that would be the action, because it's one thing for us to be compassionate, but it's another thing to actually assist them, to be active in whatever it is that they're doing, whatever the plan is, to help them to alleviate whatever the problem is.
Thank you. According to NASA or NASW, National Association of Social Workers, their rationale for the theme, they said that even though social workers go 3 years of training to help individuals and communities, is actually their personalities and passion that drive them. And that is why the theme for Social Work Month is compassion and action. They're saying that social workers will be called to turn their compassion into action to help our nation address a variety of societal changes, including the prospect there could be from different issues. Like we have in St. Lucia, we're talking about in St. Lucia, we have a lot of social ills with dysfunctional families. Um, of course, we have the crimes and so on in St. Lucia. So, Miss Joseph, you did a great job. Thank you so much for that. And
Welcome.
as if somebody was listening to our program last week, Wednesday, you would have heard some of the characteristics and also skills needed for social work. And part of that, what I really took was that you have to have a passion. With all your training,
Yes,
yes, you need all the qualifications, all the training, but without the passion, we cannot do it.
yes, yes,
I remembered Miss Joseph that day when the two of us worked on a case, remember? And straight from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. without a break, we worked on
without a
that
break.
case. Yes,
Yes, it is.
no lunch. We did not take lunch. We did not take bathroom break. We worked straight off. And I was just telling
Yes,
Miss Hunt, I told her welcome, and I was telling her that you have to be in it to know it, because
exactly.
sometimes when we speak and we tell people what we do and how we do it, they'll be like, really? Because a lot of people think that, you know what, hey, you're in an office, you don't do anything, and you just come home and say you're tired. So it is really a lot, and we deal with
Yes,
people's lives as much as we're not doctors, but we deal with the social ills, and we have to be meticulous in how we approach everything we do, so that we bring the best
yes,
outcome out there for people. Okay, so Miss Joseph, I did hear you say that you were an intake officer.
yes,
I
I
think,
am.
pardon?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Can you tell us a little about what you do as an intake officer?
Okay. As an intake officer, I am considered to be. I mean, I'm considered to be maybe the sieve or the blood that runs the human services, as it is said.
Yes.
I'm the first point of contact. So when a client comes in, the client would be referred to me, where I would see them, we would sit in the office, and then we'd have a discussion based on whatever the problem they're having. Now, some clients come to report, some clients come to get advice, and some clients come to just to debrief. Like they'll say, Miss, I just want to talk. So therefore, I would sit and I would listen. If they would just want to talk, I would sit and I would just listen, give them that listening ear, show them that support, like actually somebody's actually listening to you. Because some of our clients, they go through their day to day and they don't really have anybody that they can confide in or really want to just tell of their problems. So sometimes I just sit and I just listen. Those who want advice as well, when they come in, I would listen, and then I would, based on whatever the situation is, I would advise them. And others who comes to make a report. If it's a report that we don't deal with, it's a situation that we don't deal with. For example, they may need assistance with welfare, or they may have a situation that the police needs to get involved, you know, or they may have a situation where a client cannot afford um, maybe glasses or something, and they need to be referred to the Blind Welfare Association or something, whatever it is that they probably would need the assistance for, and our department cannot provide it, I would give them a referral to take it to whichever department that.
Okay. And Ms. Joseph, we have a bit of technical difficulties, but as Ms. Joseph was saying, yes, so she is the point person at the division. So when you do come into the Division of Human Services, your first point will be the intake officer. And with this intake officer, she will indeed make you feel welcomed and also help you. Like she was saying, sometimes it's not a matter of working the case or getting instant results. Sometimes somebody just wants to come out there and vent. So Miss Joseph would most times listen in. Okay, just by listening in to a client when they come in is already a big step, because sometimes just somebody just wants you to listen to them. Okay, and then she would move forward to giving whatever instructions needs to be done. If a case comes in, for example, somebody says, I cannot get to see my child. A case of access would come in, where so the steps would be that Ms. Joseph would have to listen to you, taking your information, okay, and then would do the necessary referrals, meaning that she would assign you to the social worker and so on. And thankfully, she's back, so she can continue. Thank you
I'm
so
sorry
much.
about that. I'm simply having some technical issues on my end. I'm really sorry about this.
No problem.
Yes, like I was saying, when the clients come with an issue, they're reporting an issue. Now, anybody can report an issue. Anybody. You don't have to be related to the issue, especially when it comes to child abuse. If you are aware that a child is being abused, it doesn't matter whether you're a principal, whether you're a neighbor, whether you're a layperson on the road who knows what's happening. It doesn't matter what walks of life that you do, but it is important that you report the matter to the Division of Human Services. Now, when the issue is reported, the client is then referred, the situation rather, is then referred to a family case worker from the said region. Now, we have a number of regions, and unfortunately, fortunately, it's just one caseworker per region.
Mhm.
So the cases would then be the caseworker for that region, and the caseworker would be responsible for calling this client in and setting an appointment to see the client, where the issue is going to be discussed, and then there will be a resolve, a plan of action rather, to deal with and to address the situation. And of course, then I have to do the recording of how many cases come through the department, the various cases, the areas, the regions in which they're coming from, the nature of the cases, and the case workers assigned to those cases. All of this information I have to keep a log for the department as part of data collection.
Yes,
I
thank you.
also would assist persons who come in, maybe not, you know, they may not be able to know exactly, where to go to do what, or maybe they want to find a job and they probably cannot, you know, do or write a proper application. They just need some assistance, some guidelines. I also provide persons with that guideline as well. Exactly what I was saying previously when I said when you come for some advice, sometimes that would be part of the process. You would say, Miss, I really want a job, but I can't really write an application. Can you assist me? I could assist them. I usually assist them with that situation. So basically, when persons come in, when the caseworkers get the cases, they only get the cases, but persons come in and sometimes they will give you the whole story. And in order for me to get exactly what the issue is, because some persons may not necessarily tell you this, they may not be able to pinpoint exactly what the issue is. So therefore, you have to listen to the entire story to actually get exactly what it is that they requiring of the division. And that's where I come in. So that's why I say that I'm the sieve, more or less, the strainer who picks up exactly what we do, and then I would just listen to everything. But then at the end, I have to record what exactly that the information they'll give me pertaining to the case that we're dealing with. And if it is something that we're not dealing with, then I would refer to the necessary other agencies.
Thank you, Ms. Joseph. And I know for a fact that every client who comes in gets this beautiful smile. That's we saw.
Of course, we do.
Okay, definitely. So when you do come in and you get this beautiful smile, of course, you will feel welcomed, you will feel comfortable, and to go ahead to speak of what is happening. I'm happy to hear Ms.
Yes.
Joseph saying that we work by regions. Can you tell us a little more about the regions, Ms. Joseph?
The regions, they're kind of wide for one person. I'm hoping the day that there will be more than one worker for per region. There would be at least two workers per region. We have the Mekong region, which starts from Pali to the Savans Bay. And then we have the Beaufort region, which starts from the Savans Bay to Labrie. And then we have another region which starts from Labrie to Saltibus. And then we have the Soufriere region, which starts from Choiseul all the way up to Soufriere. And when I say all the way, I mean every little community in between has to be covered by these social workers. And it is a lot. We try our best to
Mhm.
try to serve everyone, but it can be very tasking, but it's a lot.
Yes. I wanted you to pay particular. I wanted to for you to mention these regions specifically because I want viewers and listeners to understand the challenges that we face. That when sometimes we cannot get back in a timely manner to a case, I know that clients get very aggravated. I mean, that is understandable, but do understand us that we work tirelessly and we cover very wide regions. And of course, I work from my region begins from, I even call it Balabush because sometimes I serve all the way up there to Bouton. Okay, Bouton in Soufriere. So it is a lot. It's a very wide regions, but we do try our best. So I'm asking everybody to please be patient with us and be a little more understanding or compassionate, as our theme says, compassion and action. But so the compassion not only coming from us social workers, but we'd like the compassion in return. Right, Miss Joseph? Miss Hunt? We'd
Yes.
Yes,
like the compassion in
yes.
return. And I'm happy to hear Miss Sophia Closelma. Thank you for joining in and your comment that you said indeed it entails compassion, putting yourself in people's shoes. Well said. Thank you so much for that. Catherine Simon, sometimes these officers does not follow up with you for sure. That I understand. Wow, Choiseul to Soufriere and one person, Miss Closelma. So, Miss Simon, my apologies that some of the social workers do not follow up. And this is one of our challenges, as I've been saying, that we're not making excuses here, it's actual reality. And I'm very happy that Miss Hunt has joined me. I'm hoping soon that she will be there to assist in our plight. That by the time you're working one case and you try to put a solution to this one case, five others are waiting. So when you give this case a solution, it is not that you do not want to follow up. It is just that sometimes you're already working on 5 to 10 cases. So of course, sometimes it is very difficult to follow through. So Miss Simon, my sincerest apologies. And if you are in my region, I'm not sure what region you are from, you certainly can come in. If I am not there, leave your name and number with my security, and I will definitely get back to you to see how we can assist. If you are from another region, I am very sure the other social workers will assist as well. Okay, right, Miss Joseph?
Yes, most definitely. And another
And
thing I want to add, sometimes, yes, the cases come in, and to everybody, your case is very important to everybody. Consider the case to be an emergency. But however, at the division, we have different categories for cases. So, for example, if a client comes with a case of access and visitation, for example, a father probably has a child or a mother has a child in their care, and for some reason, because they're in conflict, the mother wouldn't let the father see the child, the father wouldn't allow the mother to see the child or spend time with the child. And we have this case working on, but then a case concerning a child in an abusive situation, be it physically abused, being physically abused or maybe sexually abused, that would take precedence over the case, the access and the visitation case, because a child's life is at risk there. So sometimes persons will say, yes, I came in, I made a call and nobody has been, I made a report and nobody has actually called me and whatever, and I have not heard from anybody. But then that caseworker probably had another case that came in with a child in a situation of sexual abuse or physical abuse, or maybe the child has been abandoned. And that would definitely would take precedence. And maybe that's the reason. And one of the things I would advise clients when they actually come in and they make a report and you have not heard anything, I think it would be best to call back or maybe come back to the office to visit, because like I said, there are a number of cases. Cases come from the school, they come from the church, they come from the people, the neighbors, they come from everywhere. And sometimes just this one case, by the time you make that one report, several of other reports has been made at the division for that particular case worker. So you can always call in to follow up on your case, or you can always come in to see the social worker.
And very well said, Miss Joseph. And sometimes, like you heard, we said we work the day we work 10 to 5 straight. That's not even bad. Where I have come to work at 7 in the morning and left at midnight working on this one case. The latest I've been to my home is 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so we do go over and beyond for our clients, and some of the cases, like Ms. Joseph said, we have to put them in part. We have to prioritize the cases because of us not being enough of us out there, and the magnitude of cases that we have. So it's unfortunate. I mean, all cases are important. All cases are important to us, and we try our best to work with all the cases, but we have to put it in an order of priority. So again, my apologies for persons who feel that we are not working the cases. Okay, so thank you so much, Ms. Joseph. I will come back to you, Ms. Joseph, because we have a lovely young lady waiting to speak. I could see she's so eager this morning. So earlier we said that she's an intern. So many of you may not know what an intern is. So she will tell you what it means to be an intern, and also to tell us why she chose this profession and a little more about what she does. Okay, go ahead, please.
Okay, good morning again. So an intern is a person who is basically shadowing someone in their work field, learning from them what they do on a daily basis. So that's basically what an intern is. And why I chose social work, I would say it's something that I'm passionate about. I love children. I love working with children. And I also think it's a calling. There are many events that has happened in my life, and I think that's proof that it is a calling. And if it's okay to share, I can do that. I will start from when I left secondary school. I enrolled in post-secondary to study business. And after I was done, I sent in applications and stuff. I went to interviews, and nothing was forthcoming for me in that regard. And while being at home for many years, I got the opportunity to babysit. And so that's what I did until NSDC advertised a program, an early childhood program. And I took the opportunity, I went. And after completing that course, doors began to open for me. I got the opportunity to work at a preschool for some time, and while at the preschool, I got another opportunity to work at a children's home, and that's where I'm currently employed. And I think being at the children's home has given me a boost and an even more reason to pursue social work, which I did, and I'm currently on my final year. So, yeah, this is what motivated me to be a part of the field.
Okay. So, so far, how has it been for you? How has the experience been for you?
I must say it's a great experience working with Miss Bondiemaitre. I'm able to see firsthand how she works with her clients, what she engaged in the on a daily basis. Sorry. I'm also able to see the different individuals who come in, and it gives me an understanding as to how family structure, environment, and various social settings affect, well, it impacts the lives of the clients that she works with daily. So it's a great experience so far.
Okay. At least I'm happy that she said, I want to run away. So, so I'm happy to have you, Miss Hunt. And of course, Miss Hunt mentioned that she works at a children's home, and I've had the opportunity to work with her before. So I'm quite grateful that despite the challenges that's being faced, she still decided to join this profession. It's a very rewarding profession. Yes, we have our challenges, but it's very rewarding, especially when you have a success story. And I would love to sometime have one of the persons we have a success story to come on and speak about the experience and how they will help. Because most of the times you don't hear anything good. You don't hear anything good. Okay? And you would most times hear negative, right? And you don't hear the positives. There are success stories. Okay, you will hear the positive. And I'm so happy that one of the persons this morning, I quickly made a call to before I came on the program. I told her, Miss, I'm very busy and I have to be on the program. I actually ended up coming late. She said, Miss, I totally understand. Okay, I totally understand. So just like sometimes just a call to let the person know, I'm running late, this and that. They understand. So this is what I pride myself in: communication, communicating with my clients. Whether some are disgruntled and say, you should have done this or whatever, but they would still at the end tell you, you know what, I understand. It's just that I really need the help. So what our field is very demanding. Okay, it's challenging and demanding, but we love what we do, and we look to make a difference. All right. So, Miss Hunt, again, I'm very happy that you have chosen this profession, and I'm looking forward to Miss Hunt coming down to Soufriere, Miss Joseph. I'm looking forward to Miss Hunt coming down to Soufriere, not to stay in Vieux with you. So, pardon?
I think before to be the best place, right, Miss Hunt?
I'm not sure.
Yes. And another thing about Miss Hunt that I am so proud of, I am her intern, I am her supervisor today, her intern supervisor, and she studied at the same school that I studied at. So I know some of our lecturers are looking in and saying, yay, two of our students. So yay, JCSS, Southeastern Caribbean College, hip hip, we're here doing great things and continue the good work. Okay, this is a great school. and continue the good job that you are doing. And also, would you like to shout out anybody? I know that some of your classmates are listening in.
I'd like to shout out my family. I think they are watching. Um, my friends, I guess. Yes. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, great. Miss Joseph, would you like to shout out anybody?
Most definitely. I'd like to shout out all the social workers in all walks of life, regardless of what area that you work in, both in here in St. Lucia and internationally, all over. I'd like to wish each and every one of them a happy, happy, happy social work month. Go out there and whilst you're taking care of the clients, remember to take care of you because that's one of the things we forget to take care of ourselves because we are busy taking care of everybody else. But in order for us to provide a quality service to others, that means we have to be cared for as well. So don't forget yourself, pamper yourself, love upon yourself, do what you must so that you can have all the energy to be able to serve your clients best.
Kudos. Amen to that. So, all social workers from all walks of life, as Ms. Joseph said, yes, so happy Social Work Month. And a special request to social workers, it is your month, and the program is here for social workers for this month. So please don't be shy. Come in, tell your story. Let's talk social work. All right. Miss Kozama sent in another comment. She said, I've been in contact for just 2 weeks and I'm pleased with feedback this far. And this is coming from my region. Thank you so very much, Miss Sophia Kluzelma, for that. Thank you so very much. Because, like I said, we hear a lot of negative things. We do not hear too many positive things. And I do understand we have our shortcomings, maybe through no fault of ours. And what we do is a bit difficult to reach out. And sometimes it's like quantity over quality, but we do give our best and we do give the quality. The quantity is overtaking. Yes. So, Miss Joseph, thank you so very much.
Welcome. Can you hear me? Okay.